What's going on, everybody? Horseman here, and today I'm going to be bringing to you a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which has just recently released on November 10th. This first impressions video is coming to you on PC, and I am currently running a 2080. My processor is 5820, and it is running on an NVMe SSD. Full settings currently, and I'm getting fairly stable frame rates at about 60 frames per second because my monitor is only 60 Hz, so that's just what it has to be. One thing to note is that this game is beautiful, and I'm having a great time with it. Of course, my first real delving into the Assassin's Creed saga was with Odyssey. Now, granted, I did play Black Flag for a little bit, but honestly, it couldn't capture my attention for very long, and there were some gameplay elements that I just didn't like. But Odyssey was certainly a game that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I ended up playing all the way through, dumped about 240 hours into it, and then on top of that, I had a great time doing all the DLC, and then making sure that I got every single achievement, Steam achievement. Aside from some launch issues, I have noticed that there are plenty of non-issues, which surprised me. Considering how many other problems that YouTubers had and during their reviews with enemy AI, with just glitchiness and people flying through the air, I mean, it was a mess, and honestly, I thought I was going to end up having to deal with quite a bit of that as well. And that ended up not being the case, which was fantastic, especially considering how many issues I had with the launch. Now, those issues may well have been a petcac error, but I don't think so. I had originally ordered the game on the Epic Store, but found out that that was the only platform that was going to end up releasing in the middle of the day for at my time, and I had gotten up early specifically so I could play the game before I had to start work that day. With that being said, I wanted to go ahead and get a refund on that. I bought it through the Uplay Connect, which is their improved UI for their store and their launcher. Only for the game to not show up in my library at all that morning until until it was pretty much time for me to go to work. So, fail. Now, granted, I was glad that I was able to figure all of that out, so that way when I did get off of work, it was fixed, it was remediated. But like I said, I at that point in time, I didn't even have to buy it on the Uplay store. So, oh well. Lesson learned. Okay, do your homework before you actually make the purchase. That's something I didn't do. One thing I have to say, again, and I want to reiterate that you may have noticed that this game is absolutely beautiful. I have not gotten too far into this game yet. I'm probably maybe 10 hours, maybe less than 10 hours into the game. And so far I've only seen this first region, which is in the snowy mountains of Norway. And from a just starting out type of standpoint, I was kind of disappointed to see that the game feels very empty right now. From what I understand, there are quite a few other areas to explore, like regions to explore, including England and more. I don't want to get too much into that right now. So I'm kind of hoping that they feel a little bit more lively. And the only reason why I bring that up is because it was a stark comparison to how Odyssey felt. Odyssey was busy. There was a lot of people around. There was a lot of towns. There was a lot of encampments to take over. And I am fully aware that I am in the mountains. I've been to the mountains of Alaska, and I fully understand how being up there is just not very populated, and I get it. And they did a great job showcasing that, which also gave me the opportunity to just explore, and that is the kind of thing that I enjoy doing. So if that's not something that you particularly enjoy doing, then it may not be for you just yet. So let me go ahead and start off with talking about its beauty, its graphics, and some of the things that I have seen across my exploration up to this point that completely wowed me. One of the things that I've noticed that the graphics and the attention to detail is absolutely superior in almost every way. I was one of those people that thought that Odyssey looked amazing, and it really did. It looked amazing. It performed well. There was a lot of attention to detail in the environments, on the ground, up in the sky. I mean, it was just, I mean, even the volumetric lighting, the fog, everything, and it was fantastic. One of the things I was a little bit worried about was the fact that I thought it was going to be very dreary. There was a lot of reports that were coming out and saying, especially in the beginning parts, that it was just like, okay, the colors are boring, they're very drab, they're very just kind of grayscale. But I mean, honestly, especially during the day, and the colors are absolutely vibrant. I mean, even in the snow, I mean, it looks like snow. There are times where I feel like I'm actually there in the snow. I mean, from the sounds, from the look of it, how it reacts to my footsteps, to combat, all that kind of stuff. It felt and looked very, very, very well done. The waterfalls with the steam and everything just coming down, it was just like, okay, this is really fantastic. The world actually feels like it's alive. The rocks, as I'm climbing up the side of a mountain, just have so much incredible detail in it that it almost looks like you can reach out and touch it and climb it yourself. So there was so many things that I had come across just in these very few short hours right here in the beginning that I felt that were just like, wow. And there's not a whole lot of games that really do that, you know? I mean, I guess it's more the open world games where, I mean, visuals mean quite a bit when it's an open world. And Assassin's Creed in these last few games, from, you know, Origins to Odyssey to now Valhalla, they did an amazing job capturing the environments and making you feel like you're actually there. In this video alone, you'll notice that I've just been kind of stopping just to look around, look at the different areas, and really take it all in. I mean, even just jumping in the water there, I mean, it really did a good job capturing how the water moves when the body goes into the lake. When you come out of the lake, he kind of shakes off the cold. I mean, it just phenomenal. Eyes, from your Raven, you get a bird's eye view, and you get to see a whole bunch of things, but I did notice that the Raven kind of operated a little bit different than the Eagle did in Odyssey. I mean, it's largely the same, but it's, at the same time, not quite what I had expected. As you're running through the mountains, you'll see a lot of different colors, especially in the shadows of the mountains as the sun's position moves, and it just, after spending some time in the mountains during like ski trips and whatnot in the mountains of Germany, Garmisch, Upper Austria, you know, I felt like I was there again. And now, granted, it's been many, many years. I hadn't been there since the late 90s. But I mean, all of these, like, this environment brought back those memories, thinking about what it was like to trudge through the snow of the mountains, you know, hearing the wind. I can almost feel the wind on my face, and that cold, bitter kind of feeling. And it was great when an environment can get you sucked into that as if you were really there. That means a lot. From the upper mountains down to these more forested areas, you're going to see more diversity in life. Obviously, you're going to see more plant life, more different types of plant life. You're going to see trees and more denser trees. You're going to see rock formations that aren't quite as drastic. And in terms of wildlife, though, I've seen everything from in the upper areas, those polar bears to white wolves to gray wolves, down to these areas that you saw. I just killed a reindeer, to regular deer, to fawns, all the way down to the shore, where you may even encounter seals. I've encountered a couple of those, and it was really kind of cool to see that. You know, they paid attention to, okay, well, what kind of animals or what kind of flora and fauna would I see in different areas of this terrain. And it was nice to actually experience that. It was nice to be able to say, okay, I mean, they actually paid attention. They did their homework, and it was really cool to see it. Next up, I do want to talk about the sound. I mean, just listen to this. You can actually feel the snow beneath your feet. I mean, if you've ever walked through the snow, you know that that is exactly what it sounds like. I mean, it's clear that they recorded the sounds and put it in here, but it's just like, I mean, it was just so well done, so well integrated. Combat sounds are amazing too. I mean, everything from the grunts to the growls to they feel like you're in combat, and that means a lot. I mean, those heavy hits when they go just ka-chunk. I mean, you can feel those impacts, and it does do a lot to immerse you into the game. So again, it's another one of those things. The sound engineers did a great job in making sure that they captured the right the sounds from the right moments, and it's excellent. Listen to this. Excellent. Very well done. Since we're here, let's talk about the voice acting. Voice acting was done very well, and it's believable. Check it out.
This gamble has cost them their lives.
They threatened to kill me if I did not help.
So to save your life, you led others to their death.
Our village was burned by Kjotve the Cruel. We had to flee to the forest. Those who survived grew mean and desperate. Olaf, one of the men you killed, said we had to fight for our land. But he only wanted to
The dialogue and how it's performed is going to be key to driving the story. If the dialogue is bad but performed well, it could come off as laughable. If the dialogue is wonderful but performed poorly, the player doesn't take it seriously, and the immersion kind of goes away. So I'm glad to see that the dialogue is played off really well.
Not a mistake. You looked like a good fighter. I was hoping you would kill or weaken Olaf so I could escape.
You are young and still foolish, so I will spare you your life. But cross me again, or harm anyone I cherish, and you will join your friends in Helheimer's foul forests.
You will never see me again. I will be a white rabbit in the snow.
The gods will get the idea.
Thank you for your help. You did not have to do this.
Kind and courageous people live the best lives. But it can be a difficult path to keep.
I have tried to live well. It is enough that the gods know that, even if the name Harek Gand is forgotten in Midgard.
So, what will you do now that this task is done?
The music is also wonderful, and of course those tunes while you're on the boat do return. Check it out.
Hearken well in Hall of Kings. On ocean steed my words gain wing. Odin's mead I forth will bring. For noble deeds thine honors.
We'll pick up from there.
Next up, let's go ahead and talk about verticality. Obviously, with this being an Assassin's Creed game, there's going to be quite a bit of it. Between the mountains, the different buildings, parkouring around to kill enemies, you're going under, over, and around a bunch of different objects. Whatever gets in your way, you're going to find a real good way to ensure that you get to where you need to go. Luckily, just like other Assassin's Creed games, it is very easy to get up and down whatever it is you want to get up and down from. So let's check this out. Just holding W with the spacebar allows me to perform all kinds of actions to get up and over and around objects. I don't really have to do anything other than that. There's no fancy footwork or finger work on the keyboard or on a controller in order to navigate steep inclines, rocky outcroppings, whatever have you. It's very easy to get up and about on pretty much anything you want to do, even if it's just to go into photo mode and take a really fancy picture, like what you're about to see here. Getting down is just as equally easy. It took me a while to really figure it out because in previous Assassin's Creed games, you could just jump off, especially in Odyssey. If you had enough of those high points, you can just get some nice little perks where you didn't take fall damage. But I found out very early on that fall damage is very much a thing. So what do you do instead? I mean, you can notice that I'm traversing down very, very easily, and that is very true. And I don't even have to do a whole lot. Again, just as easy as it is going up, it's just as easy going down. Push C, and you will climb down. You don't have to worry about jumping down and taking a good amount of fall damage, because it is very easy, especially if you don't really figure that out early on, to die. Next up, I am also going to be looking at the menus. So this is the skill points menu, and you'll notice that it looks very familiar to other like ARPG type things, where you have a bunch of passive nodes that eventually lead to a more active node. And now when I say more active, it is still a passive thing, but you do have to perform actions in order to perform such things for some of these, but it's not something that's going to take up an ability slot, and we'll talk about the ability slots here in just a little bit. But the one thing I don't really like is that even though I can mouse over the different nodes and see what it is that they're going to offer, so I can do very short-term planning, you'll notice that there's kind of like a fog of war around the whole rest of the screen, that it does not allow me really to see what my character is going to look like or what I want to work towards when it comes to endgame. That's my biggest gripe with the skill. Next up is abilities. So abilities are actually scattered around the world. You have to explore in order to find them in the form of these books. They're like books of knowledge. And in this case, I got Rage of Helheim, which is an ability that that you can actually assign to numbers 1 through 4. And just like in Odyssey, you're going to have 4 ranged and 4 melee. So you go into your menu, you go to the abilities tab, and you're going to see that the ability gets unlocked. You mouse over it, and it's going to give you a short understanding of what it is and how to perform the actual action. In the Rage of Helheim stance, you have to hold down the button, and that was something that it took me a long time to actually figure out. For other item or other abilities, they may just be just hit the button and it's going to do something, hold down the button, it's going to do something else. So you really have to just kind of play around with these things in order to figure out how you want to use them. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about itemization. So, unlike Odyssey, there's not going to be a whole bunch of different items just dropping left and right and left and right. So, as you can see here, I am upgrading a basic bow, and it increases the power, it increases the quality, and of course, you can see that I have some mythical items here too that I got from the Helix store. So this Moonlight, for instance, is something that was a reward from Uplay. So you can go through there if you have the resources and upgrade the quality. And it starts off as kind of a basic, it goes to superior, flawless, and then eventually a mythical. And again, this is nice because it gives you a sense of ownership over these weapons, and it's something that you can really get attached to. So it really kind of bums me out a little bit because I kind of enjoyed getting a whole bunch of different weapons, but it was very early on in Odyssey that I just said, you know what, I don't need basic weapons anymore other than for scrap. Just give me the best and greatest stuff. I'm going to go on hunts for legendary items. And I feel that that's going to end up being the same thing again, because you're looking for very specific stats. You're looking for set abilities. You're going to look for those passives in order to help you gain in power. And you'll notice that the items also have rune slots, and you can also upgrade them in your own inventory screen, like this.
Come back anytime.
Part of upgrading your equipment is also slotting runes. Much like gems in other games, you can slot these runes to get some passive bonuses, and they are quite helpful, both your weapons and your armor. Okay, so for the last part of our upgrading our equipment, you can just hover over, you can press right click, and you can see there, it upgraded it, which upgrades the base stats, and that's it. So you're not going to get any new rune slots or anything like that, or new passives. If you want any of that kind of stuff, you have to go to the blacksmith and upgrade its quality. But since these are mythical items, that's not going to happen. In terms of our runes, you know, just kind of revisit this again. I'm able to slot new runes, and I can even take runes from other pieces of equipment and slot them in here as well. So there's a lot of flexibility and freedom to be able to do things like that, however it is that you want to. So, all right. There you go. I got rid of my shield, and I equipped another axe, because to be fair, I'm not really using my shield anyway, and I'm terrible at blocking. So there you go. All right, that's it for itemization. Something else to note here is that you can also hide all of your armor if you really wanted to. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. You just mouse over, push the space bar, and it gets rid of it. So this is, again, this is PC. I'm not sure what button is used for the consoles. But you can get rid of all of your armor slots, including even your weapons. So just boop, 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 all gone. And it just shows how your character is displayed, you know, on a regular basis. To be honest, I have no idea how this affects your ability to fight and whatnot. So let's put this all back on and moving on. Okay, so I saved the most important for last, combat. Combat is going to be something you're going to be doing on a regular basis, especially because, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, Assassin's Creed, right? So in this case, I'm not so much the assassin as I am more of a, like, go in there and bash people's face in. Combat feels solid. I mean, it does not feel very good in the beginning, I'll admit. Especially when you don't have a whole lot of abilities, don't have a whole lot of passives. And right now I don't. But, you know, I have to admit, though, I mean, it does feel solid. It does feel kind of good. And you'll see another video that's going to be posted all about, like, one of the more hidden types of bad guys that you get to fight. And he's not even a bad guy. He's actually a good guy, just an honorable kill kind of thing. So I'll be posting that here again shortly. But this fight right here is a great example of what like longer combat is going to look like. So try to use an ability. All right, that's what that one looks like. That's holding down the button in order to perform that move. But then you'll notice that the guy glows, and those are going to be the visual indicators that you need to get the hell out of the way. You'll notice that his arms were glowing, and that's going to be his weak point. So if you have the ability to actually attack those, you know, with a ranged weapon or whatever, then get on in there. It will stagger them, and then you can perform a stun move. But got to get out of the way. There's some that you can parry. There are some that you can just flat out dodge and evade. Personally, I'm not very good at the whole parrying thing, and so I just make sure I get out of the way. What you just saw there is going to be a finisher or a stun move, and they're quite fun. They don't always go so well. Like right there, I tried to use my Helheim ability and absolutely failed. Personally, this is how I prefer to take out all the bad guys in an entire camp. Easy. For the last bit here in terms of combat, I'm going to talk about raiding. So position your boat and where it says raid like that, and the boat will rush in. I don't know how, but they will rush in. All the people in your boat will get out, and you got to stagger your way out because reasons. Apparently getting out of boats is hard. And then you all storm the front, and go and destroy the village, pillage it, do what you want, take all of its loots, and have a good time doing it. Now, the one thing to note here is that I have noticed that I've been able to do these raids over and over and over again. Matter of fact, this is the third time I've done this particular location for raids, so I'm not really sure what's up about that. I don't really necessarily agree with that. So it is what it is, but at least it's kind of fun to do. As far as what you gain from it, most of these locations will have one of those wealth progression items, meaning that you open up a certain chest, it's going to give you a material, some currency, or something that's going to increase your wealth. And really what you're trying to do, especially for each of the regions, is increase that wealth, get all the mysteries, get the artifacts, which will inevitably increase the power of your clan. So again, this is still very early game, so I don't understand yet how this is going to function later on in the game in different regions, but because the village that I'm in right now is already very well established, and I'm just kind of trying to help the war effort, if you will. So it like I said, it's good times. It's a nice little way to, it's something different, if you will, and I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. So since you got an idea of what the raiding is like, I'm going to give you a couple examples of what it looks like to just take out enemy camps. In this case, this is an enemy camp, and then further on in this video, you're going to see another couple of instances of taking out enemy camps. Nothing spoilerish here because I'm not getting into any of the story elements. I'm just going through the exploration, kind of like self-paced exploration, and it was good times. But this is all the talking that I'm going to do. So if you've actually, hung on for this long, I definitely want to say I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, or if there's anything that you would like to know more about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, please let me know in the comment section below. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more gaming in general videos. Anything that comes across my interest, I definitely try to at least post something like this at the very least. I have at least one more video to post for a more difficult fight that was good times. Not really a secret fight so much as it was one of those, hey, gotta do an honorable kill, and it was a great time. It was a very tough fight, so that's definitely why I want to post it, because it took me probably good 15 tries to do it before I finally succeeded. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you again. So until next time, Horseman out.
Get back here, you cowards!
Odin take you! Enough playing! There's the target! Nail it! Go on! Who will catch Odin's eye?
No way out, rat!
Blood bag! Be wary of tricks. Don't fight.
Odin pisses on such cowardice.
vigilant.
Sail out! Sail down! Push now. Hey now, hey. How curious. One who wanders widely and has traveled far will learn the scope of mankind's nature and discover common sense. Is anyone home? This is not a natural quiet. It's as if a curse has befallen this place. Ornir and Ymir. Wonder where they've gone. Ymir was killed. Show me. Must be the pack that Ornir quarreled with. He went to face them. Ornir, your worst fears realized. But your death will not be in vain. Stretch your wings, Sunan. torn to pieces by wolves. None remain on this island. I should leave this place. They will attack on sight here. Have a look, Sunan.
Hey! Bleeding here! Oh, pathetic!
Take you. Throw the dog off stride.
Give up, you shit!
That will cost you.
No escape, you troll-humped mare! Blood!
Going on?
I can run for hours!
Just watch my back!
Ah!